How would you better deal with Alberta's deficit? Increase taxes or freeze salaries? Well, Wade, I don't want to even think about raising taxes until we've got our spending under control, which, by the way, right now Alberta is spending about 20% more per person than the average amongst Canadian provinces. And right next door in BC, a Liberal government is spending 25% less than we are per person to deliver basically the same services. You know, they got to pave and build the roads and run the schools and the hospitals, healthcare and everything else. But BC is a bigger province geographically, a more complicated geography. It's also a higher cost of living, especially down in Vancouver. And they have an older population. So their healthcare system should be more expensive. Their transportation system should be more expensive. And just generally, the cost of operating and paying public sector salaries with the cost of living should be more expensive. And yet they're spending 25% less than we are to deliver the same services. Now, that is if we were spending in Alberta the same amount per person as the government of British Columbia, we would be spending $12 billion less than we are, which happens to be the size of the deficit. Now, I expect that in 2019, after the next election, we'll be inheriting from the NDP a deficit probably in the range of $5 to $8 billion. Who knows, but that's a decent guess. So we should be able to move towards British Columbia spending levels without negatively affecting critical public services. Now, it is true the single biggest slice in the reason for the difference in spending is that British Columbia has shown much more discipline in negotiating collective bargaining agreements with public sector unions whose compensation and benefits represent about half of public spending. So we'll have to relearn that kind of discipline. But I really don't believe the solution is higher taxes. In fact, the best way to reduce the deficit is through economic growth. And the worst way to grow the economy is by punishing hard work through higher taxes.